Hello, is Paola Di Maio. Thank you for accepting my lightning model card for neuroscience, um, in particular, neuroscience model card ML. So, very quickly from the abstract, I'd like to add to the abstract that this work takes a system level epistemic perspective, so it's not narrow neuroscience. Take a system view of a very big field, and I leverage logical schemas, and logical schemas leverage conceptual and semantic boundaries. It's not just research. I'm not doing this necessarily specifically as a researcher, but because I'm interested in leveraging the existing knowledge to improve well-being. There is an epidemic in cognitive decline. There is a lot of data about the brain, and it's too taxing to leverage this new data. So we know the problems, and we know that model cards are natural language formulations of knowledge schemas. In particular, their benefit is that they're human readable versions of new data sets. And I have managed to get a hold of a human readable data set from Allen Institute, and I'm trying to work with it. So just to illustrate the scenarios with the image taken from Martone, we know this, but there is a huge heterogeneity, not only in terms of a variety, but also different structure functions and multiple standard formats. This is a historic problem, but it has not been solved. We have increasingly more data, more standards, but we are still not able to answer questions. I asked the question in 2019, how many types of brain cells are there? And they didn't. They had lots of data, lots of research done, but they couldn't answer this. So now there was a paper by Allen Institute last year, and they tried to answer the question, but then you try to look at the data, and it's still a little bit obscure. And which is what triggered this work. So, how many neuroscience data sets are there? How can we search the data sets, multiple data sets, and query them? We have the usual interoperability questions, and ultimately, this talk is a call to all developers to think big, think system whenever you do your ML, which is great. Please think how it fits in the bigger landscape of people who are building language models, for example, or natural language queries. So in 2019, as the machine learning was already problematic because of the black box, I started complaining that we needed natural language correspond for every model, machine learning model or algorithm. We need natural language expression. And I published talks and papers on the topic. So when I'm thinking model card ML, I'm not just thinking for machine learning models, but also for data models, neuroscience grade data models, especially the large, diverse data models. I've started this work. I don't have to tell you, it's a very long story, model cards for neuroscience, but ultimately we're looking for explicit knowledge representation, human readable, and explainable representation, supporting data model integration for the purpose of answering questions and queries over multiple data sets, also using a natural language, also, and possibly in the open web, which is what brought me here. So, what am I doing to help advance this area? Well, first of all, I'm addressing the meta science level, which means we have neuroscience architecture, but we don't, and we have schemas, different schemas, but we don't have a language to exchange model cards. So I'm addressing the meta science question. We're creating model cards. We need a language. So we need a language to exchange, to communicate, to have model cards, communicate with each other. And the way I'm doing it is that I'm parsing model card template from Hugging Face. And in fact, I'm scraping it. I've scraped it, and I have converted it to XML, which was an image from HTML. I put it into XML, and I cleaned it up a bit, and I am now deriving XSD and attempting to implement a generator validator. So the purpose of this work is to get a little tool out there that can create XML for each model card, which is probably, I suspect, already available somewhere. Tell me if you do have it, please. Don't keep yourself. We would like to have XML and JSON for model cards, and I suspect we will have it. So, but there are, it's non-trivial if you do it with consideration, a number of issues that I am facing, questions that I'm asking myself. And I want to thank everyone in the community who's working on this topic so that really I can build on it. And there is a lot of interesting, relevant work from the abstracts, people I'd like to talk to. And I would like to thank a number of people, including the Women in Neuroscience, Pedreg, and the authors in the cited papers, and Hugging Face, and the presenters, and And please get in touch if you think this is going to be useful and if you would like to collaborate. So thank you so much.